This genre is going to be characterized by 80 to 95 BPM, bouncy hip-hop drums, bouncy bass lines, rap vocals, soul samples, and then kind of spicing all of that up with electronic effects, basses, and ear candy. And then for some daily bread style stuff specifically, we're going to want to layer our bass lines with melodies or a perfect fifth above, which I'll show you that here in a little bit. So for the drums, we're going to want like thumpy hip hop kicks. And then for snares, we're going to want like trappy and clappy style stuff. So with the drum beat that I made, I started with this kick and snare pattern. Super simple. Don't overthink things here. The trick is just taking some of these offbeat kicks and putting them off the grid to make it feel a little bit more flowy. So someone would maybe usually put this kick right here, which sounds good, but it doesn't have that like humanized funky flow to it. So if we kind of shift it off the grid and put it in its own spot, it has more of a bounce to it. And that's really important with this style of music because the hip-hop drums are really a big, the drums are always very important, but it's kind of the main skeleton of this style for sure. So then I layered the snare with a couple of claps, and with the claps we're going to shift them over and delay them so that they all have their own space and you can kind of actually hear each one. So now the snare sounds like this. So we have this layer and this one. So all together, just kind of trappy, more organic sounding, I guess. And then we're going to want a cool hi-hat pattern. That's also very important for these drums. So I just went ahead and found a hip-hop top loop that I like to save myself time. Don't be afraid to do stuff like this, especially if it's in a different BPM and you warp it to your project. And maybe manipulate the tempo or the pitch and things like that, and kind of make it more unique. You don't have to really worry too much about using loops or feel like you're cheating or anything like that. It's totally, they're there for a reason. So this is the loop I picked. We're going to want a lot of hi-hats and rolls going on, just like making a hip-hop beat. And then I sprinkled in some scratch samples as well. Super effective for this style. And then we have an open ride right at the end of the loop just to kind of bring us back to the beginning. So let's hear the beat all by itself. Nice and bouncy, nice and groovy, with some ear candy and interesting things going on. Let's add one more thing to this. Let's just add a crash. Something acoustic would probably be best. Using like realistic samples and instruments is great for this genre. Cool. So let's just leave the drums for now. So then the next thing I would do, and I already did this just to save time, but I'll still go over it and everything with you guys. The next thing we want is just to write a nice bass line. Don't worry about sound design. Don't worry about all this other stuff. Just get a cool 808 pattern or sub bass going under these drums. And one thing to help guide you here, that's really helpful that I learned recently is the bass and the kick have a very symbiotic relationship. I think that's the right word. Where they're oftentimes when a kick is hitting, a bass sound will also play, especially when bands are playing and in hip-hop as well. So if you already have a kick pattern, you could let that kick pattern help guide your bass line pattern. So this is the bass line I came up with, and all I'm using is the basic sub sign in Ableton. Super clean sub. We're not worried about sound design or anything yet. So I picked this. Keep it simple. It's just like step one to writing our chords, right? We write a nice simple bass line that harmonizes well, that kind of creates an emotion, and at the end of the loop, it's kind of bringing us back to the beginning, if you will, or kind of resolving any tension that's going on. Don't overthink things with your bass lines. Keep things simple. Really, with music writing in general, I think simplicity is always the best. So we're in E minor here. And I let these little offbeat parts kind of follow the kick. I'm noticing now it's off from the kick. So let's maybe shift it over so that it is with the kick. Maybe like right there. Okay, so let's hear this bass line with the drums. Nice. So once you have something like that, I feel like literally half the work's done. The rest, the hard part's over. Now we can have fun and kind of paint this loop with bass sounds, vocals, and all this other fun stuff. So first thing we want to do, obviously, is get some bass sounds on this bass loop, or on this drum loop. So we already have a bass line that's guiding our notes for our bass sound. So what I like to do is take like a CRM patch. I already kind of started one. All it is this LFO shape. I could reinitialize it, and we'll do all this from scratch. But now I can just kind of put electronic bass sounds on top of this bass line, and let this take care of the low end, but we'll low cut all these and just create a bass drop, which we've all done that plenty of times before, so don't overthink this part. I notice Daily Bread does a lot of this. On his downbeats, it'll be like wow. So it'll be like an eighth and then a quarter. We could put that on the volume. So now we have that. So let's hear that on top of the 808. So that's a cool downbeat already, even as just a saw wave, which I notice they do that sometimes too, even. And then let's cut out the 808 or the sub on the snare. And then this is when it'll be like wah 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 wah. We'll bring in some bass sounds. So let's go ahead and take the sub notes, put them on this MIDI channel. And again, all I have going on here is an LFO. Nice, cool. Let's group things, start getting organized. Sub. Yeah. And then we'll call these basses. Let's color this as well. Okay, cool. Let's get this downbeat sounding cooler. And I'm going to take the low cut off just to get context with low end while we're making the sound. So let's just do basic shapes. That's always a great place to start. And just get some kind of tonality that we like. I think that could be cool. Just maybe do some FM. Maybe do a bandpass filter. I've been a big fan of bandpasses lately. Yeah, it's already pretty sick. I think I might like the saw wave more though. Let's put a sub on this so that it goes through the distortion. Compressor. pretty cool. Let's maybe try this coming out. Yeah, there we go. That's pretty cool. So let's cut out the low end to let the other bass sound do it. And then let's just beef this up a little bit. Do multi-band. And then let's do a reverb throw into the snare. I kind of like the basic saw wave vibe. Yeah, honestly, let's keep it simple. Teaching point here. You don't always have to do crazy stuff in Serum. Sometimes really simple sounds work good. So let's just beef up this saw wave. You know, maybe make it a little bit more unique. So let's maybe distort it, OTT it. And then I'm going to put mono always and porta on so it glides into each note. What is this on? Yeah, I'll keep that on trigger. And then let's go into analog and maybe just find a more interesting saw wave shape. One that can like evolve a little bit. Ooh. Cool, that's sick. Let's do a little low pass just to kind of tame the highs a little. And then let's bring this to life. Let's put a little bit of hyper on it. A little bit of phaser. Just really subtle things. Just to, I'm not even going to listen to what the phaser is doing right now. I'll just do that. A little bit of chorus. Been kind of using a combo of these three lately instead of just chorus. Just adds more depth, makes it a little bit more interesting. Nice, that's sick, honestly. I really like this. Let's just keep moving forward, though. Get to the other elements that make this genre. And another big one is vocal samples. We're going to want to find a cool rap acapella that we could put throughout the drop on our fills and in our gaps, just to spice things up and kind of make it more interesting. So let's make a new group called Vox. And I think I have some acapellas I know I want to use. Just Work, I think it's called. J-U-E. Let me see. Yeah, Just Work acapella stash. This guy on Reddit, great resource for rap acapellas, and a lot of them are already organized for you, which is really nice. So I know there's some Lil Wayne ones that I think I might want to use, but these are nice because, like I said, they already show you the BPM and stuff, and that's going to be important here. Let's go ahead and find one.
And when there's Hove.
Let's do Rock Boys. Let's try that one. So with vocals, we're going to want to make sure that the acapella is warped to the tempo of our project. So this one is 95 BPM. So we're going to want to make sure that this number down here is set to 95 BPM. And now it should already be basically in time. We might have to shift it around a little bit.
First of all, I want to thank my connect, the most important person with all due respect. First of all, I want to thank my connect.
Nice, that honestly works perfect.
First of all, I want to thank my connect, the most important person with all due respect. First of all, I want to thank my connect, the most important.
Yeah, I honestly like this. Thank my connect. That's pretty cool.
First of all, I want to thank my connect. First of all, I want to
So with the vocals, we're going to want a few things here. We're going to want like phrases for fills, but then we're also going to want to like find little ad-libs, vowels, chants to use as offbeat chants and fills. So let's check the acapella out, see if we could find some.
Man. Speak the most important, but greed, but and I'm your buffoon. Your buffoon. The little yeah.
Right there, something like this.
Yeah.
Those sound sick on the snare sometimes. Let's see how that is.
Yeah. Speech. First of all, I wanna thank my connect.
Yeah.
First of all,
Think it.
First of all, I wanna thank my connect. First of all, I wanna thank my connect. Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, I wanna thank my connect. Yeah. First of all, I wanna thank my. First of all, I wanna.
Maybe just first of all.
First of all, I wanna. First of all. First of all. Yeah. First of all. Yeah.
First of all, I wanna.
First of all, one thing. First of all, one thing. First of all, one thing. Yeah. First of all, one. First of all, one. First of all, one. First of all,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then we could do like a little delay throw maybe. I'm thinking if we do like time based and just throw this on the last.
First of all, one. 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 First of all, one.
Yeah.
First of all, one. Yeah. Yeah. First of all, one. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool. So once you find like some placements for it, we could go ahead and mix it a little bit better and make it a little more interesting. So we can go with a more raw vocal kind of vibe, or we can also go with, kind of making it a little bit more electronic. Keeping that in mind the whole time we're writing. How can we take hip-hop music and electronic music and combine the two, as well as like soul music and things like that? Right now it's going to be mainly hip-hop focused, but for example with the vocal, how can we make it more electronic? The way we can do that is by doing electronic music producer techniques, right? So we could change the pitch of it, make it all compressed, maybe put some redux on it, make it sound like a robot. And when you are sampling like these really popular people like this, you probably kind of want to, just so you're not completely sampling their raw audio, because you could maybe have issues with like copyright stuff. So let's do some stuff to this vocal, make it sound a little more electronic. Little Altar Boy is a great place to start. Shift around the formants and all that good stuff, make it sound a little different.
First of all, one. First of all, one. First of all, one. Yeah.
Give it a little bit of distortion maybe. And then I like doing mono utility after Little Altar Boy, just because it does some like weird stuff with the stereo, I feel like. Let's do a fifth. Just mix it in a little bit. Let's do a little OTT. Let's put it before the EQ. Okay, let's beef this guy up a little bit. Multi-band. Yeah, let's just make it a little bit more interesting. Do a little bit of white noise. Oh yeah. I don't like right here. Takes some of it out. Maybe roll off the highs a little bit now. Like the more open vibe. Okay, let's sorry, I'm getting locked in here. This is fire, honestly. I'm probably gonna finish this. Let's do some effects now. We got some vocals. Let's get some effects to make it a little bit more interesting. Again, add more depth. I feel like I want a laser. A laser right here. There's like a little gap in here somewhere that I want to fill. Maybe right there. It's kind of basic, but I think it's kind of sick right there. Let's see. Right there, actually. Turn it down, just kind of put it in the background. Yeah. Yeah, since we already have these scratches going on, they're actually doing a pretty good job of filling a lot of the gaps. We might not need to do too much. Yeah, let's just leave that. Let's get a riser and just rise up into the next section. That's a good one. Tiki. Cool. All right, let's duplicate this phrase over twice, or just once, and we could probably repeat it for the most part. Obviously, you're going to want to do a couple of things to help it progress. We'll do a fill at the end, and then we'll do a switch up, and we'll do some Daily Bread, more Daily Bread style sounds, like the little whistly sine wave thing he does. I'll show you guys how to do that. So let's hear this into this repetition of it, and see what we should change. Probably the vocals. Let's find a different vocal right here. Yeah, what's this one? Woo. And then maybe change this to Thank My Connect. And then let's just make a variation of this bass. We could probably keep the same flow and everything. Let's just make it sound different. Maybe like there. Okay, let's duplicate all this over now, and then let's make like a new section over here, get a little bit of variation going on so it doesn't get boring. And I'm thinking it could be cool to do that Daily Bread technique where he has that like whistly sine wave. So I'll show you how to do that. It's really simple. So let's just take all of our bass MIDI, bring it down here into Serum, and we're going to take a sine wave, a couple 2 octaves up, and then a perfect fifth, which is +7 semitones. So let's do +3 and +7. So we're almost there, right? But the big trick here is vibrato. We're going to put an LFO on the fine pitch. So super simple sound, honestly. Let's just spice it up a little bit. Let's maybe give it a little white noise. Let's give it a little bit of distortion. Downsample could be cool here. There we go. Let's do a little hyper, a little phaser. And then one technique I like to do lately, if I'm trying to just make the sound louder, but I don't want to like compress and distort it too much more, which is common with these kind of soft sine wavy sounds, we can, instead of taking like a compressor and pushing up the volume or pushing the volume on distortion, we could simply turn up the volume up here as well. But what I like to do lately is take a low pass filter, open it up, so this is going to kind of roll off our high end, and then we'll just boost the whole filter. So now we're kind of turning up the volume of everything while rolling off our high end and keeping things clean. It's really just making things louder. That's basically all it's doing. So let's hear that in context. Probably too loud, so we'll turn it down, mix it a little bit better. But let's think here. What else needs to change? Nice. I think this would sound good with a saw wave, like a bassy saw wave layered under it. Like that. And I think multi-band compression on top of all of it. And then let's get the melody a little bit different. We don't want it perfectly following the bass line. Let's maybe try to spice it up a little bit. Cool. Let's try some different octaves. Ooh, there we go. Okay. Let's hear all of it together now. Or actually, before we even do that, let's go ahead and make a fill to get us into this new section. So I'm thinking the last half bar, we could cut a lot of stuff out. Cut out the sub, and then let's do like a washout tool on the bass. Actually, let me use mine. Do the reverb wash. We'll have this just going up into here. More subtle. Nice. Okay, let's change these offbeats too so that it's not the same one every time. So we'll do an every other kind of thing. So, and again, call and response, even if it's not right next to each other. So with my downbeats, I like to think how they relate to each other. So if we have a wum, maybe the second one would be cool if it was like a wum, or what, you know, just some type of contrast rhythmically and tonally. And I don't know why my serum does that. When I duplicate it, it will like change some of the settings. So that kind of sounds sick. I don't know what it did, but let's change this into like a wom wom. Yeah. Dope. I really like this. This is cool. I might finish this. I'm obviously going to change this if I finish it because this is just straight daily bread. But I really like this. This is dope. So a couple other things we could kind of do to make this more interesting, and then I'll probably wrap it up because I think I want to leave it as it is. I think this was a really good video. We can add a couple more things though. We could try to incorporate like some instruments and some other things, like ear candy and stuff. The same way we did the vocals and the laser zaps. We could try to use some instruments, like guitars. Think of anything in like funk and soul music, you know, brass, guitars, things like that. So we could just try to find something. Let's type in guitar. Actually, I have a better idea. Let's just make our own. So a cool place to put instruments are maybe like on the downbeats, right? So let's try to create a chord that will sound good on the downbeat. Good instrument sounds. Contact is pretty good for this. Just try not to use too many third-party things, but it's hard sometimes. So we can use this to do an acoustic guitar, and we can maybe have an acoustic guitar playing some chords on top of our bass line. So just fill things out harmonically, make it more interesting. So let's do an E minor chord since this is an E minor. That sounds pretty cool. So let's hear that on top of the bass and stuff. Yeah. Just put it on every other. That's pretty good. Sounds maybe a little wonky, but we could just tuck it in there. More so just want to show you the concept of doing this kind of stuff. Offbeats are great as well, so we could do like offbeat guitars and things like that. Um, 808 things are really good too. Like, trying to find there's like an 808 bell. Is it a bell? That. The little like ding 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 ding. Use stuff like that. I notice Daily Bread does that a lot. But yeah, let me just leave this video here. I think this is a really good one. So as usual, I'll give you guys the project file. Let me know in the comments below other types of videos you guys would want to see, things like that. And then real quick, let me show you guys that other song. And let me know if you guys would be interested in doing a track breakdown for it. Okay, so here's a song I recently finished that's in the style of Pretty Lights, kind of Daily Bread as well, more on the chill side of glitch hop. Let me know what you guys think in the comments and if you would want to see the track breakdown plus the project file.
When it feels scary to jump, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life.
I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there.
Whatever you do it 100%. When you work, work. When you laugh, laugh. When you eat like it's your last meal.
Awesome. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys want me to do a track breakdown of this and get the project file to kind of continue on this topic of glitch hop and Pretty Lights and Daily Bread style stuff. Also in the comments, let me know any video requests, anything like that. DM me if you guys need feedback. Coming soon, we will have a Serum preset pack, which I'm really hyped on. A lot of cool sounds in there. As well as a dub pack with about 8 songs. So, as usual, I hope that was helpful. Hope you guys learned something. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.